tomorrow is gone, you are one step closer to today. And when today is past, you are one step further into the future. If we understood how time is and what time is, we would not waste time. With all that is happening in the world today, I feel that much of our time is wasted on things that will not contribute to our future. See, most of us, when we think of the future, we think of our lives here on earth. We make no type of preparation for what happens after we leave this place. I'm reminded of a song that says, "Time keeps on slipping into the future." Every step we take takes us closer and further into the future. And there's a saying also that says, no one knows what the future holds. We can only imagine. Sometimes we think about this life and forget that it is only a vapor. Only a vapor. We make no preparations. We don't think about the impact of our actions for the day. We don't think about the impact that it will have on our future. We are constantly bombarded with news and information of other people, other situations, and how their lives have been deeply impacted by something outside of them. And we all get our day. We all get those moments to where our lives are changed forever through some type of action by others or ourselves, or normal events that just simply happen. And then many times we are touched with events or situations that affect the whole world. And when you understand biblical prophecy, it actually tells us that we are to look for these things because they are coming. There are things that are going to take place that will affect the whole world. And these are the things that we must prepare our minds for. It is unfortunate that the cares of this life are so promoted that we don't care about that inner man. It's unfortunate that those are the things that people thirst for. They thirst for the knowledge of this world. They thirst for the cares of this life. When you bring spiritual things to the masses, they are greatly ignored because most care more about this life, cradling this life, coddling this life, giving our carnal selves what our hearts desire versus what our soul and our spirit needs. If we can just take a moment each day to really ponder on the fact that time is slipping into the future, and ponder on the fact that we are much, much closer into the future, which means every day brings you closer to your end. If we understood that, maybe some of the day's events would be a little different. You know, that time that was wasted on something that has no type of benefit for your life. Especially young people. When I see how young people indulge themselves in certain pleasures, going to the movies. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying not to go to the movies. But I'm just saying that some people are so occupied by those things to where they make that a permanent part of their lives. They do it every week or twice a week sometimes. Even if you're not going out to a movie, but you're at home watching movies on a daily basis. And I'm not saying that every so often you can't do that. I'm talking about those who spend a lot of time doing those things that will not add to your life, that will not help you in your future. I think that many of us forget that these movies that we watch are actually telling us a bit of what they have planned for the future. You see, one of these days, the internet will be no more. One of these days, you won't have the option to watch a movie. One of these days, you will not be able to play a video game or even hear music other than that is played by yourself or others around you live. Because one of these days, there will be no power grid to operate these things. See, society has gotten us used to certain conveniences, certain things we are so used to that we can't imagine our lives without them. Most people cannot imagine their lives without electricity, without the internet, without television. Most people can't imagine their lives without social media. And they would literally lose their minds because this is what they know. They don't know anything else. And so therefore, there is a big bubble that is about to burst. You know how they say, I hate to burst your bubble? Well, there is a huge bubble that is about to burst. And so many people are going to be shaken, shattered, and destroyed when it does. It's called modern convenience. Even the fact that we are able to just go and buy what we eat off of a shelf. Go to a restaurant and someone pulls a lever and fills your cup with a drink. Someone pulls a batch of fries out of the grease, puts it down in some paper and hands it to you in a bag or on a tray. So many have become so used to these kinds of things to where they cannot imagine not being able to go and hand someone paper that's of no value with a value assigned to it. Hand someone a $20 bill and pay for a meal. Most of us can't imagine not being able to do that. Most of us can't imagine having to go and hunt for what we're going to eat in the day. Go and fish to put food on the table. Most of us cannot imagine having to poke a seed in the ground and waiting a specified amount of time to be able to eat from that food. Most of us cannot imagine being responsible for feeding our own selves through our own efforts. Most of us cannot imagine not being able to jump in your vehicle, put a key in the ignition, and drive down the road from one place to the other to take care of the things that we need taken care of. Most of us can't imagine. And so when you ponder on the fact that today is going to slip away and be no more and will become a thing of the past, and that we have to face what is in the future. If we only understood that this life is but a vapor. If we only understood that we have a lot of work to do to get us to that point or that place to where our minds will be able to handle or deal with what the future holds. Because we're slipping further and further into the future. And most of you cannot imagine what to do with some of the things that the future holds. Most of you don't want to imagine or even think about what the future holds. You're living for today. Today is what matters to you. But you have no thought of what the future holds. Now, those who have faith are a little different than the masses. There's something that needs to be understood. When the Bible says, take no thought for tomorrow will take care of the things of itself. The Bible is not telling you not to prepare for the future, not to prepare your minds, your hearts, your souls, your bodies. It's not telling you that. It is really a message to believers that we don't have to worry about the future. We don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about it. We don't have to fret over it. That's what that message is. But in general, we are expected to understand that something lies ahead, that there is something coming. And the preparations you do today in your mind will determine how you deal with what the future holds. I am done with this video. I hope that I have said something that will cause you to think and ponder on what it is you need to be doing right now. What should you be doing right now? Today, what should you do today that will prepare you and your family for tomorrow? Think about it.